going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now,
Jimothy.
So ladies and gents, we are back with a deck that I've had for such a long time, just sitting in a drawer waiting for the correct support to arrive. And you know what deck I'm doing already, ladies and gents, that is Marincess. Now Konami seem to be doing something really interesting with a lot of decks. They're starting to give a lot of support to some of the decks that they've previously released that just needed a little bit of support to come into the more modern era of Yu-Gi-Oh. For example, like Dark World. They're getting a new fusion monster. We've got Marincess that have got a bit of a buff. We've also got Math Mech, just to name a few. So they seem to be giving some of these older decks just a little bit more support, just to be a little bit more playable in more of a rogue setting. Nonetheless, we are here. We're doing Marincess today. That's enough of me waffling on. Let's get straight into the cards. So starting us off, I'm going with triple Marincess Blue Tang. Now I did own this deck way back in the day when it initially first came out, so I have had it for a while, hence why I've got some of the OG prints, but I haven't played it all that much. And what you'll seem to find, ladies and gents, especially with some of the ratios, I'm still kind of like and ahhing, trying to decide whether or not I want to include said cards. But Marincess Blue Tang is definitely a 3 of, in my opinion. Foolish Burial, Salamangreat, Foxy Effect, it's just super powerful. I'm also going with triple Marincess Spring Girl. This is some of the newer support. This is the extender that we needed. Marincess, along with a lot of other some of the cyber decks, do get kind of crippled on their normal summon, but just being able to have Marincess Spring Girl in hand allows you to play past that, because you're definitely going to have some kind of graveyard setup that you can use to be able to utilize her summoning condition. In of herself, she's actually a combo by herself, along with Marincess Seahorse. These are your 9 starters, 9 normal summons, special summons, extenders, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gents. Again, just facilitates your combos from the stuff that I've been doing. She's super powerful. You kind of need her at 3. You like to see her. Also playing double Marincess Pascaless. I would actually up this to 3, but you need to see her in combination with other things in your deck. Now, with the new support in the form of Marincess Dive, it is kind of important that you kind of have at least one of them in deck to be able to resolve. But she's not actually a bad card anymore, where she used to be. Like, normal summoning Marincess Pascaless and then just getting imperm just meant that you was just kind of like, your turn was over basically. But now it's a little bit different, especially with her ability to kind of special summon a Marincess monster from hand. And we're also running the 1 Mandarin as well as the 1 Sleepy Maiden. These are just extenders. Sleepy Maiden's a bit awkward because she's a level 5, so if you do see her in hand by herself and you've got no other cards on field, it can be a little bit difficult to play her. But very rarely does that happen, and with the amount of recursion this deck has got, it does really well in being able to just play them as a 1-of. Right, moving on to the hand traps. Now this is where I'm a little bit contentious about what I should be including. So I've gone with triple Ash Blossom just because branded Despia is still a deck and they're getting more support, believe it or not, in the upcoming future. So I do believe Ash Blossom is going to be a card that you kind of like need. I've also gone with double Ghost Ogre. Now the reason I went with Ghost Ogre is because this deck typically doesn't have a lot of removal, so I thought along with a lot of Brave stuff being currently played, Ghost Ogre is just a nice little way of disrupting my opponent, being able to just pop some problematic monsters, so to speak, or just remove something from the field to be able to then pop off. So double Ghost Ogre. We're also running double Nibiru. I was actually thinking about putting this up to 3, which I am still considering, as well as the 1 Effect Veiler. Now if you're wondering about the ratios, I am actually playing cross out, so spoiler alert for the spells. But yeah, I'm actually playing cross out just to be able to facilitate the plays, because believe it or not, as much as this deck has recursion and ability, it still gets wrecked by Nibiru if you don't have the right hand. So cross out is probably something that I'm going to be playing. Onto the Marincess stuff, we've got 1 Marincess Battle Ocean. I did have this at 2, but I don't know. At the moment, 1 seems to be fine. I mean, you can recur it out your graveyard, and chances are, if your opponent does get rid of it, you still can play, to be honest. So 1 Marincess Battle Ocean. We're also running triple Marincess Dive. This card's gone mad expensive, but it is really effective. This is the new support that we've got out of Legendary Duelist Duels from Deep. If you've got the field spell, you can special summon a Marincess monster from your deck. If not, you can special one from the grave. Super powerful. It can recur itself, but you kind of want to open this along with some of your other Marincess monsters, and then just search your field spell. So that's what I've been doing when I've been doing a few test hands. But look out for a board breakers episode on Marincess coming up later this week, ladies and gents. Onto the more generic stuff, we've got triple signet mining. It's a Cyberse deck, you know how it goes. We need to search, all that kind of stuff. Double cross out designator. I don't like playing 3. I don't know why. It's because quite a few times when I've played 3, I've actually drawn cross out for turn. I'm just not being able to play. Potentially in this deck, you could bump it up to 3 because you can play out the graveyard, which is a nice feeling. So having a cross out drawn whilst you've got a graveyard set up isn't actually a bad thing. But like I said, I'm still testing, so double cross out for now. Also playing double droplet. I would play 3. I'm trying to get my hands on the 3rd one. I don't want to buy it. I'm trying to trade for it, so it is what it is. And then we've got a couple of power one-offs. We've got Call by the Grave, Harpy's Feather Duster, as well as Monster Reborn. This is a flex spot. I was actually kind of thinking to myself, what could fill this spot as a powerful one-off? It could be anything else, ladies and gents. You could take this out and put the 3rd Nibiru in, for example, which is a consideration. But like I said, I haven't done any live testing, so we'll have to wait and see for that, ladies and gents. But yeah, those are the spells. Next, onto the traps. We're already playing 5 traps, and 2 of those traps are Marincess Wave. Now again, this is another thing that I was talking about with regards to my ratios. You could potentially drop this to 1 because it can now be searched, which it couldn't be previously, and it would actually clog up your hand. Drawing into this card is not very nice, as I have found out, and if you don't have a Marincess Link monster on field, then this card is a brick. I'm not even gonna lie, ladies and gents. But nonetheless, it is a powerful card. Being able to make your monsters unaffected by spell or trap effects, well, unaffected by card effects, so to speak, is something that you just can't disagree. And as well as the infinite impermanence-like effect to be able to negate something on field, super powerful. Talking about infinite impermanence, this is our other trap that we're playing, triple imperm. It does conflict with your bubble reef if you draw into it, but again, that paired with Nibiru or just paired with another hand trap can be quite devastating to some decks. And sometimes you can actually just hold the imperm until your turn rolls around, and then just start off your turn with an imperm. So very flexible card. Yeah. And that is it for the main deck, ladies and gents. Now we are on to the extra deck. So we're playing double Marincess Blue Slug. I used to previously play this at 3, but now with the new support and the amount of recursion this deck's got, you don't necessarily need the 3rd one. 2 is most. As well as double Marincess Sea Angel. Again, this was at 1 before because you was literally only using it to search the field spell. But now that you've got Marincess Dive, you can actually search the dive or the field spell, which makes her a lot more useful. I am trying to get a hold of some of the supers basically, but yeah, we're running the commons for now, is what it is. I'm also playing 1 Marincess Crystal Heart. Again, not as effective as it was. You're only really summoning this if you got the field spell up, but nonetheless it can be really useful. We're also running the double Marincess Coral Anemone. This is your power play. This is the part of the recursion that I was talking about, ladies and gents, along with Marincess Marbled Rock. So when Anemone is sent to grave, you can recur a water monster, and Marincess Marbled Rock also allows you to just recur a Marincess monster, which is just fantastic. It's also a big beat stick as well. 1 Marincess Coral Triangle. This is the new card that allows you to search the trap. Super powerful card. It can actually do a whole host of things as well, especially if it hits the grave. You can banish it to special summon 2 Marincess monsters with a link rating equal to 3, which is absolutely crazy, I think. And you can actually bring back your Marincess Coral Anemone as well as a Blue Slug and just continue playing out of your graveyard, which is absolutely fantastic. Hence why you want to get a graveyard set up as quickly as possible. And then finally, for the link 4s, we run the Marincess Great Bubble Reef as well as the Marincess Aqua Argonaut. Argonaut is probably your end goal at the moment. It used to previously be Bubble Reef, and you just use the kind of like the Decode Talker Heat Soul effect to just be able to cycle through your deck and draw into hand traps, but it's not necessarily as needed now that we've got Marincess Aqua Argonaut, which is actually a negate, and it can actually beat a towers. Your objective is kind of to make the towers, but then you don't have to be able to win because this deck's got so much recursion. For the more generic cards, we've got 1 Splash Mage as well as 1 Area the Water Charmer. This is just to revive Hulk. It can do a whole host of other things, but yeah, it kind of takes Hulk, and then you can link it into whatever you need to, because a lot of the Marincess monsters just take water monsters. So yeah. As well as finishing off, we've got one Bahamut Shark and one Totally Awesome. Nothing needs to be said about those. And that is it for the deck, ladies and gents. Now, like I said previously, I am actually doing some testing with this deck, and I haven't had a chance to take it to locals. I actually missed locals this previous weekend, or weekend just gone, as I was away with the family. But this deck is probably another deck that I'm looking to take to locals, along with Dynamorphia. I'm still trying to find out what deck I'm most comfortable with, or looking to play for the next, I don't know, a couple of months or what have you, because I know Splite format's coming out, and I don't think I'm going to be jumping into the Splite hype, mainly because I like to play Rogue, and Splite is looking to be a tier 0 deck the way that it's going, but we'll see that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But anyway, we find ourselves at the end of another video. As always, if you do like this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.